So the MetaQuest 3S is one of those particular devices that came out a little bit of time ago. And what I want to kind of showcase is how this particular cheap VR headset compares against the Apple Vision Pro. Now, number one, the MetaQuest 3S starts at $299. That is a fairly cheap, budget-friendly device for a lot of people out there, whereas the Apple Vision Pro starts at $3,499. The Apple Vision Pro is like 11 to 12 times the MetaQuest 3S, which is pretty crazy. And I will tell you, it's pretty insane because in a lot of ways, obviously the Vision Pro is going to be better in a lot of ways, but the MetaQuest 3S is actually better in some ways as well. Number one, when it comes down to the design of both of them, the Apple Vision Pro is definitely built way better than the MetaQuest 3S. The Vision Pro genuinely feels like a very expensive machine. It feels very premium. It looks very, very good. And I do think that is a very nice thing going on for that type of device because you can buy it. It looks and feels very, very nice. I don't have that much to complain about there from the design, structure. Whereas on the MetaQuest 3S, this thing is lighter, so it's not as heavy as something like the Apple Vision Pro, and it is designed to be more comfortable, I would say, for a lot more people. So that is kind of one of those things to keep in mind. Looking internally though, when you're looking at the displays, when these things are on your head, the Apple Vision Pro definitely is a way better display. Those have an OLED display inside of them with a resolution of 2160 by 3840 per eye, whereas on the MetaQuest 3S, it is an LCD display, and that one is 1832 by 1920. So from that particular perspective, the MetaQuest 3S, the display itself isn't really going to be that nice. The Apple Vision Pro's panel is definitely a far better panel here than the way the Apple Vision Pro, than the MetaQuest 3S. However, when it comes down to the display itself, what is the point of these displays without the performance levels matching them? What's very interesting is that the Apple Vision Pro has a desktop level chipset inside of it. That is the M2 chipset and the R1 chipset inside of it. That is actually pretty legendary that particular headset has that type of power inside of it. That's a desktop level chipset. It looks great. It feels very, very good too. And I think that's a really nice thing going on for that type of device. The MetaQuest 3S on the other hand is giving you that Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So from this particular perspective too, that's another really nice thing going on for the MetaQuest 3S because both of them are giving you a lot of RAM, great performing chipsets, everything like that. But the fact that the MetaQuest 3S is giving you that solid chipset, that Snapdragon one, is also a very nice thing going on for that type of headset as well. Now, in my personal opinion, I would say so far in a majority of ways, the MetaQuest 3S really doesn't do as good of a job in some ways here and there than the Apple Vision Pro. However, the one area I still feel like the Apple Vision Pro just doesn't do quite as well in compared to the MetaQuest 3S is the ecosystem behind these consoles. Now, the Vision Pro obviously does really well with Apple products. You have a lot of apps you can download inside of them, all the iPhone, Mac apps, things like that you can, utilize between both. But I do think for a fully fledged out ecosystem built from the bottom up, the MetaQuest 3S, for having as many games that it has inside of it, all those applications, things like that, I think the MetaQuest 3S is a very solid option there for that type of device. The Apple Vision Pro, I think, is still also a very, very good, it's one of the best VR headsets you can buy. It looks great. I think it looks beautiful. And I do think this is one of those types of consoles that I would recommend people to go and buy, or the headsets, because they're very powerful. But it costs so much money that I do think in a majority of ways, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to go and buy it because it just costs so much. The barrier of entry is way too high. Whereas in the MetaQuest 3S, it is substantially lower. And I feel like that makes that a little bit of a better console, or a headset, gaming console, whatever you want to call it, just because it's so much cheaper. So from that side, I would probably say that type of device I think holds up a lot better and is just more practical than something like the Apple Vision Pro. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there too. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.